ba? Nakita na ba? Nakita niyo ba ang slide? Kasi cellphone na yung gamit ko.
Yes, kita na po.
Visible na.
What is your report, Bilyas?
My curriculum development po in the Philippines.
Dali lang,
Primary,
dali lang.
secondary, and
I think we are on level 2 na, di ba? Dali lang.
yes po.
Wait. Masa na yun?
Ko lang nadagdag yung primary, primary, secondary, and
Okay. So, medyo confused ako kasi pag curriculum development in the Philippines, curriculum pa rin yan yung part A.
yes po.
So, dito is by level na tayo. So, primary level ka and high school.
High school and senior high school.
Okay.
Okay, so let me start my slide. So let's go back or review what is curriculum development. Curriculum development has a broad scope. It is not only about learners and the teachers. It is about the development of society.
Will you please check your audio? Your audio. Masyado mahina.
Di marinig, Doc? Ganyan, Doc?
Okay.
Okay. How about this one, Doc? Okay. So, when we say curriculum development, meaning it depends upon our government how to impose and let the citizens follow, especially sa education natin, no? So it is also about the development in society in general. So in today's knowledge economy, curriculum development plays a vital role in improving countries' economy. Kasi kung itong economy, kung hindi naman well-educated yung mga citizens, medyo madaling maano no sa ibang hindi makakompete or makakompete man but not uh, as high expected na marunong talaga. So, yung curriculum development, depende talaga yan siya sa country. Okay, curriculum development is the multi-step process of creating and improving a course taught at a school or university. While the exact process will vary from institution to institution, the broad framework includes stages of analysis, building, implementation, and evaluation. So, based sa ating natutunan before, yung sa level 1 natin, we knew the different curriculum development of different countries, no? So, we able to compare kung ano yung curriculum development. So here in our country, in the Philippines, a 13-year education is mandatory by law. These 13 years run from kindergarten up to grade 12, also known as the K-12 program. After which, students have the option of whether to pursue higher education or not. For a long time, the education system in the Philippines, meaning balik tayo before, no? Philippines was one of the shortest in the world. Back then, formal education was only required for 10 years. 6 years of primary school and 4 years of high school. But in 2012, ang government natin ay nag-introduce ng new legislation requiring students to attend school from kindergarten. So, kindergarten is now mandatory. Hindi na maka-enroll ng grade 1 if the child or the learner didn't undergo kindergarten around age 5 years old up to grade 12. So, meaning ang age to up to, mag-reach ng 12, grade 12 is 18. This meant that the new legislation added 2 years to the curriculum before students could finish high school. Since then, the education system in the Philippines became more similar to American K-12 schooling. So, meaning itong K-12 natin na program, which was parang ginaya natin yung ibang country. I think not only American but mostly sa Western countries. Nito na yung ano nila, kaya start na every August, September klase nila. Kaya parang nag ano tayo no, nag sunod kung ano yung uh, popular sa ibang bansa for us to compete also. K-12 in the Philippines has three levels. First, primary school or primary education from kindergarten to grade 6. Then we have the junior high school, lower secondary education from grade 7 to 10. Then senior high school, which was called upper secondary education from grade 11 to grade 12. So all in all, sa primary natin is we have from kinder to um, ito na siya. The three levels. So we will talk about the primary education. Generally, the duration of primary school in the Philippines is about 6 years, and it is divided into two cycles. First is the primary cycle, 4 years from grades 1 to grade 4. And then we have the intermediate cycle, 2 years, from grade 5 to grade 6. So in primary cycle, from grade 1, meaning that is the basic no foundation of the learner. So dyan na dapat nagmo-mold ang bata, parang preparation niya in the next level, sa higher level niya. This type of curriculum is mandatory in public schools. However, private schools usually offer a 7-year curriculum instead of 6. So children attend school a year earlier. So pwede pa yung sa private school earlier sila. Minsan yung iba toddlers pa, 'di ba? Meron yan siya. 2 to 3 years old, pwede na yan niya i-enroll. Pwede na yun. Mga private parang scribbling lang sila for them to prepare para sa kinder, sa next level. Pero sa government, parang ano lang, 4 years old yung tinatanggap, may tinatawag na, ano yun yung public, meron siyang, I forgot the name, parang development program nila. So, hindi talaga, minsan yung ibang parents doon sa private na school, kung gusto nila matuto talaga yung mga bata pa dyan. Okay, at the end of every school year, the students' cumulative grades are evaluated. If the students pass or earn at least 75%, they can move forward to next year level. So, syempre, as we all know, sa manggod ang passing, pag mag-reach na yan siya, ma-promoted siya to the next grade level. Pero kung hindi naman, kailangan 70 grade mo or 73, something like that. After completing 6 years of primary school, the students graduate and earn a diploma from the institution. After earning this diploma, they can move on to secondary education. So, pag matapos na lahat, ayun na, pwede nang mag-high school, no? So, secondary education. Secondary education in the Philippines is also known as high school, and it consists of two levels. Lower secondary education, which is called junior high school, from grade 7 to grade 10. Then we have the upper secondary secondary education, senior high school, from grades 11 to grade 12. So there are different types of junior high school in the Philippines. So first, we have the general secondary school, consists of 4 levels, mainly based on the American curriculum. Then, we have the vocational secondary school, technical and vocational education program offered by the government and private schools. So, minsan, yung may mga parang ALS, no? parang siguro parang vocational sometimes yung iba nagja-champion sila minsan sa TESDA natin parang mga vocational courses na yan kung gusto talagang makakuha ng certificates para ma-employ. Then we have the science secondary schools, research-oriented and specialized public high school for students with demonstrated math and science skills. So, yung mga matatalino, mag-enroll yan sila sa math and science na schools. So, ito yung mga different types of junior high schools in the Philippines. In the new education system in the Philippines, the curriculum gained 2 additional years, now referred to as the senior high school. Ito na yung senior high school. From grades 11 to 12 ito. It is now compulsory for students to attend senior high school wherein the courses have 2 divisions. So divided into two again. First, we have the core curriculum subjects. Consists of 8 learning areas made up to 15 core courses. Then we have the track subjects further divided into applied subjects and specialization subjects. There are 7 applied subjects and 9 specialization subjects. Then by finishing senior high school, students graduate equipped with knowledge and skills necessary for higher education or employment. So ito yung purpose ng government natin. Why is it we apply the K-12 program? It's because they are anticipating that after makatapos ng high school, ma-improve ang employment stability ng ating country, no? So kung pag senior high school ka na, ayun na makukuha kung may dressmaking, automotive, yun ang mga curriculum subjects nila na ini-implement or what do you call it, integrated sa mga subjects. May dressmaking, may pang beautician, yung ganun, mga massage, yung ganun siya, no? So may mga iba't ibang courses na integrated. So I think those are the last topic of my assigned topics about the curriculum development. So here are my references. And thank you for listening. Yes po,
Can you not present? Ruby, I'm not yet finished.
Okay po.
Have you not prepared to lay out yung mga subjects in the levels, primary, sa intermediate, sa high school and senior high, that you would like to study? Anong mga subjects ang offered sa lower levels which could be carried out sa second level or some are deleted and changed? Yun ang gusto natin makita because we would like to know how these are prepared. Yun man ang, kaya nga we study the curriculum by level. It's not only the number of years but yung subjects na offered.
Mostly doc sa primary po from pag sa akin kasi grade 1 sa grade 1 is yung mga math subjects, may yung 4 major subjects, then we have the math.
The point ko is, have you not prepared a chart where we can view at one time so that we can make analysis? Kasi yun ang point ng reporting nyo sa level 2.
Sorry doc, hindi ko na no. So kung pa ka nang i-present na ako again.
Kasi gusto natin makita ang development ng learning ng mga bata. How does it help? Yung bang, how does a certain curriculum help?
Okay po, Dok.
The learner.
Ano ko, Dok. Wala kasi ako last Saturday kasi na brown out. So, lang ako. Wala nang ibang subject. So, hindi ko alam kung ano yung instruction.
So maybe you can, while others are reporting, you try to, lang. Ano yung
yes
mga
po.
subjects
Okay.
You are doing it para within today, we can make, a comparison na. Kasi gusto natin makita na, is our curriculum, Philippine curriculum, really helping a learner to learn? Or baka they are bombarded with too much academic that they have not learned anything.
Okay, sige po do.
Yun
While
ang point
others
eh.
are, yes po.
With others reporting.
Yes.
Ipiset mo yung curriculum ng kinder, ng early
Primary.
primary, oo, hanggang sa
Okay, kung
tumaas.
ano lang subjects.
Gusto
Okay,
natin
sige
yung
po.
trending. Trending.
Okay po, do noted. Thank you do.
Okay. Kasi nakita ko yung development ng mga bata, for example, speaking English. Ano ba mga subject na offer natin na para makatulong sa kanila or any skill. Kasi nakita naman natin dun sa Japan, for example. Japan ba yun? O Japan?
Yes po,
Something like
Japan.
12 years
Ako, Japan.
old. Ikaw yun, no? Nakita mo,
Yes po, do.
12 years old, marunong sila mag-invento. Marunong sila yung chemistry. So, ibig sabihin, sa lower level, maganda yung preparation nila ng mga subjects. What about us? Yan ang gusto natin kasi Philippine setting na tayo ngayon eh. And we would like to see how the curriculum each level is prepared para makita natin yung gradual development of learning ng ating mga learners. Does a curriculum help them or not? Yun ang point ko eh. Ano ba yung next ninyo ha? What is the next topic? The next is Krehan. Sino ba si Krehan? Krehan? Sino Krehan? According to the list.
Absent din yan si culinary sa isa ng subject kanina, Dok.
Hindi ay.
Opo. Mga 3 meetings na, Dok. At sa sabi ni Ma'am kanina.
Uy. Dali lang. Tingnan ko muna yung listahan ko.
Pero si Ma'am Mary Rose, Dok, nag-absent daw siya kasi napaakan daw giro, mapa-inject daw siya.
Sino? Si?
Si Ma'am Mary Rose po.
Ano ba yun?
Ang Jimenez po.
Ay, naku, bakit naman? Ano naman?
Nag-chat sa akin na inform ka daw kayo nagpa-inject daw siya, napaakan giro.
Jimenez. Jimenez, according to the list is... Dali lang. And number 7 naman siya. Okay, wala si Cresio, si Maita. May.
Hi, Doc. Okay.
I hope you are going to present the subjects. Importante sa akin yung subjects eh.
Not all kasi masyadong marami, but I did take up some, ano kasi, vocational yung akin. So, I have some
Nevertheless,
samples.
ang importante
I have-
is, if
I have
you
some
present
samples of the
vocational-
subjects of,
Oo.
ano po, wait na po, let me just load up the PowerPoint.
Vocational yan siya na independent vocational school, hindi yan siya yung strand.
Sinali ko lahat. Because
Sinali mo pati yung
I thought
different-
lahat, so I have, pati yung TESDA.
Oh, okay. Vocational din yan.
So, yes po. So, medyo,
Kasi gusto ko makita yun. Oh. Makita natin yung development din ng skills dyan sa vocational.
yes po. So, kasama yung JHS, DLE,
Oo.
TVL sa senior high din.
For the rest of you, we're going to present it by levels. It is that you present yung mga subjects offered para we will know whether it is academically bombarded or skills, subjects.
Okay. Shall I start, Doc?
Go.
Okay, so good morning, everybody. I'm here to present about vocational education here in the Philippines. When we say vocational, there's actually a lot of kinds, and I hope to get as much as I can today. Okay, so sometimes college is not an option. So, what can a student take to train him or her for specific and specialized works? So, there are sometimes, diba, we cannot afford in terms of money or afford in terms of time. So, these are what I'm going to be covering in my report today. what is vocational education, TLE, TBL, which falls under TESDA. So um, the bulk of this is talagang TESDA. What are needs assessment, the new and changing occupations that gave way to the courses that we have right now, and vocational education curriculum specialist. So, what is this person and what do they do? What are their goals? Alrighty, so what is vocational education? Simply put, it's work ready training. It's faster than college. It's designed for technical fields, trade, and crafts. Some people call it practical education. In other countries, it's called trade school, technical college, and community college. So marami siyang pangalan, but they're all under vocational education. So the key features to vocational education is it makes students job ready. So it's very practical. That's the reason why it's called practical education. They only learn what they need to learn in order to do specific jobs. So most of TESDA or technical vocational schools are short, months only. You can even get some that just weeks. So that will depend on, I guess, the schedule. Pero the key feature to this is you are job ready. Second is it's based on competency. So hindi talaga siya gine-grade yung meron siyang grade na 85, 95. So the grading system is not like college. All you have to do is show your competency in that particular course and then you can pass or get a certification. So, vocational training versus college. So, vocational training is hands on, it's ready for work, and it's fast, versus college, which is academic training. So, theoretical or broad based or broad knowledge that could be applied. So, ma-apply siya if you are considering higher education, like this master's degree or a doctorate degree, you will have to take college. So there are myths about vocational education because sometimes when you hear, it's not just in our country but also in other countries, when you hear na oh, graduate lang siya ng tech voc or voc ed, they think that first myth 1, tech voc is simple and easy. It can be simple but it's not easy. Myth 2, smart individuals don't need tech voc. If you're smart, mag college ka na lang. It's not. TechVoc is really there for a specific purpose. Myth 3, you must comprehend things prior to being able to attend TechVoc. So, yung talagang papakitain mo lang yung skills mo sa TechVoc, which is not true because that is where you learn the things. Myth 4, smart people don't need to know manual labor or get their hands dirty, which is also a myth because a lot of things in TechVoc is really hands-on training. So a lot of them is manual in labor, especially if you go to things like welding, um, barista, uh, what's this, dressmaking. So everything is hands-on. Myth 5, practical education, which is another name for TechVoc, entails only lower order thinking skills, which is also not true. You need higher order thinking skills because this is all application. For less abled
Analysis.
people, sorry,
Analysis.
meron po ako analysis sa dulo na po.
Mm.
For the less abled people, practical education is the only way to learn, which is also a myth. Less abled people, or let's say may kapansanan and stuff, practical education or tech voc is not their only approach. They can still go to college. So, and myth 7, practical instruction is a one size fit all approach, which is also not true, which we will tackle in the last leg of my report, which will be about curriculum specialists or uh, vocational educational curriculum specialists. So, outcomes central to vocational education in the 21st century. So, this is what we want the outcome: routine expertise or being skillful, resourcefulness, knowing how to deal with non routine, functional literacies in communication and functional skills and literacy, numeracy, and ICT especially. ICT will keep cropping up in my report because That is something not just being pushed by our TESDA, but also being pushed by UNESCO. Craftsmanship, so vocational sensibility or aspiring to do a job or pride in a job well done. Entrepreneurial mindset. This one has been pushed ngayon, especially sa JHS, SHS natin, that they want that entrepreneurial mindset because we want students to think of the bigger picture, the commercial or entrepreneurial sense, the financial or the social sense of whatever they're doing. And of course, we want wider skills for growth so you can be employable and you will become a lifelong learning. So what's nice about taking TechVoc is you don't need to take just one course. You can take a lot, as much as you need actually and at any age. So we'll talk about TLE, TVL, and TESDA. So we'll first tackle TESDA because TLE and TVL will fall under TESDA. So, where do we get vocational education? As I mentioned, you can get it in TESDA, or you can get it in TESDA accredited um, places. You can also get non TESDA accredited, so that's also an option. There's the standalone schools, there's technical colleges. You'll have a college degree and technical training at the same time. Sometimes your company can offer apprenticeship and OJT, which is equivalent to what the TechVoc education is already. You can get it in online schools, which is very popular and which I actually took a lot of courses in the online school, especially if it's 5 weeks or less. Anything more than 5 weeks, parang natatagalan ako. I want something fast and I want something that helps. So usually during summer, I take about three online courses from different universities abroad because some of them actually give it for free, especially now because COVID and they're trying to help other teachers. So they give all of those either to support what you already know or to give others extra skills. And then, of course, you get the TLE program from the JHS and the TVL track in SHS, which I will be explaining in detail in dalawa. Let's first go to TESDA. So, Republic Act 7796, basically the TESDA Act of 1994. It's the creation of TESDA. So, it's going to be replaced, or it will replace National Manpower and Youth Council and Bureau of Technical and Vocational Education. So, all of those will be there in TESDA already. So the pinaka point of this is to talagang make sure the youth is employable. So they have to work closely with, back then it was still DEX and the Bureau of Local Employment, or DOLE. So the goals and objectives of the TESDA Act. Basically, TechVoc, to push TechVoc. Technical education, push it, make sure everybody is what's this, employable. So there are many aspects under this, but this is the general gist of it. They want our youth to be employable with skills. So TESDA, or Technical Educational Skills Development Association, the vision is transformational leader in technical education and skills development of the Filipino workforce. They want everyone to have work. TESDA set the direction. So this will apply to other schools or the schools. So the schools, kung pwede, will work with TESDA. So TESDA can work with schools, TESDA can work with companies to ensure that everybody is employed. Because if everybody is employed, that's actually very good for our country. It means our poverty levels will go down, our illiteracy level will go down, and well, if everyone has work, there is no hunger. And everybody has work, everybody pays taxes. So it really gets the economy going. So that's why TESDA is very, very important. They create the opportunities for people to be productive. So that's the pinaka thing about it. So more or less, they're composed of 125 schools, regional and provincial, and specialized training centers all around the country. Here are some of the specialized training centers. So there are a lot of TESDA training centers because also there are a lot of TESDA accredited partners, the schools, and especially in senior high. Now, there are three notable institutions. TESDA Women's Center, which is talagang the advancement of economic status of women in our country. So they have a lot of gender sensitive or gender specific courses like dressmaking, massage therapist, although massage therapist is also offered to others, home, what's this? What's this? Ang tawag dun? Sorry, I forgot. But they're all for the advancement of women. Sorry, I don't have picture, but actually our house in Manila is very near TESDA Women's Center. Then you have Language Skills Institute. So this one we have courses in English, Korean, Mandarin, Japanese, and Spanish. We usually have this so that when you are employed, you actually get a language premium. A language premium is on top of your sueldo. So, example, my sister before, when she was taken by a Japanese company, at first, when she was working for a Filipino company, maliit ang kanyang, oh, hindi naman, actually malaki-laki. It's still bigger than what I'm currently making right now. And then they found out she can actually speak Japanese because she did study in Japan. So, ang language premium niya is like times three on top
Wow.
of the current salary. So,
Mhm.
because it's hard to get people who can fluently speak and read Japanese, they give language premiums. So, I know
Wow.
somebody then in call center, may language premium siya because she can speak Spanish. Therefore, she's given a language premium over everyone else because she knows how to speak Spanish. Same thing when you know Korean and Mandarin. Pwera na lang English because they always require us to already know English. Now, the Korea Philippines IT Center, that's something interesting because it was grant assisted or funded by the government of Korea. So that one, they have very nice building. I have been to the building in Fort. Very nice place. Everything is really geared towards IT training, which is really being pushed right now. So that's going to be in the next part of the report because that's part of the trends in occupation, the IT or ICT. So now let's talk about TLE or Technology and Livelihood Education in junior high. So when you reach grade 7 and 8, you are given something like a exploratory course. So it's like a mini TLE course. The school is actually bahalang school what they want here. So usually it's home economics. That's the safest that the school can usually give. Maybe taking care of plants, cooking, handicraft, things like those. So things that are simple and that will just get the grade 7, grade 8 interested. Then when they reach grade 9 and grade 10, they can get a specialized TLE course, which is this one down here. This one, Agri Fishery Arts, Home Economics, Information and Communication Technology or ICT and Industrial Arts. Where depends on the school you are, you can get an NC1 and NC2. So I'll show you some NC1, NC2 courses in a little bit. When you reach senior high, so that's grade 11 and 12, it's technology and vocational learning. This track helps students go straight to work after senior high. So same thing as here. You have this four subjects. Dito then you have the same four subjects. These are not subjects though. When you get to senior high, these become strands. So I'll explain about the strand. So when you reach senior high, 11 and 12, you get to choose a track. There's the academic track, which really prepares you to go to college. There's the arts and design track, which splits into visual and multimedia and performative arts. There's the sports track, which is PT and sports. And then there's the TVL track, so technical vocational livelihood track. Under that track, it has strands. So under the strand of, let's say, industrial arts, there are so many things under it, like carpentry, automotive service, driving. This is professional driving, electronics repair, electrical installation, welding, plumbing, tiling, and so much more. So that falls under industrial arts. When you choose one of those, you can get an NC1 or NC2. And after you have your senior high, which you will have your core subjects, after you get that, you have your major subjects. I will show some major subjects in a little bit. Then for ICT, you have medical transcriptionist, programming, web development, animation, which is their newest one, and more. Then you have home economics. So you have barbering, bartending, beauty care if you want to become a beautician, bread and pastry making, caregiving, cookery, dressmaking, food and beverage, if you want to go into catering, housekeeping, tourism, handicraft. So there's so much more under home economics. So unlike the other track, which you have a set of subjects, which is kind of broad, when you get to the TVL track, under it, let's say you pick home economics. When you pick home economics, you choose what's in home economics that you want. So if you're the type of person like, I want to go into tourism, so you want to be a tour guide, or you want to make tours, or you want anything under the tourism industry, you take tourism. So you don't need to take all of these. Now, I have sample subjects for agri-fishery. So in agri and fishery arts, it's everything agricultural and fishery. So horticultural, animal production, crop production, rubber production, slaughterhouse operation, pest management, fish production, wharf or fish wharf operation, food processing. So I'll give you some sample subjects right now. These are, let's say you took up agri-fishery arts. So under agri-fishery arts, there are three. Um, let's say you want to choose fish production. So you will apply to this. You have your core subjects, which is oral communication, 21st century literature. Sorry, I did not put it here anymore. I just put the major subject. But you have your basic 16 subjects, which is split into, sorry, tama, 16 subjects split into grade 11s and grade 12. Those are going to be your core subjects, and your major subjects are these: fish nursery operation, fisher shrimp grow out operation, fish port wharf operation, and fish processing. So these are your four subjects. These are actually you have an NC1 and an NC2 here, so you can get that certification. That is a TESDA certification. Okay, now let's talk about. Oh wait, before we talk about needs assessment, let me just share with you some of the sorry. Let me just share with you some of the things that you can choose. Example, agri-fishery arts. So you can see here, let's say agricultural crop production. It will tell you the number of hours. Most of the uh, senior high school subjects are actually only 80 hours. So this one is a very specialized one because
Excuse me,
in order
Mai.
for you, yes, Bob.
Ruby, paki-unmute daw. Ruby. Okay, go ahead, Mai.
Okay, Bob. So in order for you to get your NC1, you will need 320 hours. So kakaiba yung subject niya. It doesn't follow the usual SHS format for this. So here are some of the things that you can take. So this is from um, TESDA for the TVL track. Then we have home economics. It will also tell you like you want to get commercial cooking, which is an NC3. In this column over here are your prerequisites. So before you can get commercial cooking, you'll need to get cookery NC2. So you will see here cookery NC2. You'll have to take that one. So you want to take up fashion design apparel. So if you don't want to go into fashion design as a college, you go straight to fashion design NC3. But before you do that, you need to take dressmaking and tailoring. So it is shorter kasi 320 hours. Actually, kaya na yan in a term or two. Yeah, kaya one term yan. So this is one term's worth, 320 hours, and then after that, you go to fashion design apparel. Hindi, meron ka ng NC3. So you don't need to get to the 4 years of college just to take fashion design. So that's also one of the advantages of Tech Voc. It's very specific. See, hairdressing, handicraft. So what kind of handicraft? Basketry, macrame, or you want fashion accessories and papercraft, needlecraft, woodcraft, leathercraft. It's very specific. Then you have your ICT. So you have here different courses. So these are their newest ones. I'm very proud to say that my brother and my eldest sister actually had a hand in making this animation NC2. So they have made that one. So there are a lot of things that you can choose here. This one is also their newest one, TVL Marine Time or Maritime. Um, it's very lucrative ngayon kasi to work in the boat. So if you want to go to the boat quick, like after senior high, pwede ka nang makaakyat ng boat. This is what you can take, and as you can see, each of these subjects only requires 80 hours. So if you take
2 days.
navigational watch one, two,
I
three,
mean,
and then
two
you're good.
weeks.
Yes po. Ay, hindi naman po. Kasi the 80 hours is split sa buong term. So,
I see.
yeah.
But if you would like to take the course in 180 hours, it's equivalent to 2 weeks lang.
Also depends on the school. Like in our school, most of my major subjects, the one that I teach is 160 hours, which is one full term. Pero kasama ko ang mga major subjects, which is also 80. I sorry, not major, core subjects, which is also 80 hours, one term din. So Monday, Tuesday, tapos everything else every other Tuesday. So depends sa scheduling ng school.
So, anong mga gen ed subjects yan? Wala. Meron ba?
Meron po. Sorry, would you like to see the Gen Ed subjects niya?
O para makita natin
Okay,
kung
sige po.
how many units bang required? Kasi nakita ko yan per hour yan eh. Ibig sabihin.
Yes. Wait.
Pero maganda yung pagka-present.
Yes po. So let me share you this one. This is actually from another. I didn't know you wanted to see, but buti na lang po I have this. Let me just share
Oo.
this.
That's the point
These
pa
are
kasi ng
the
studying by level eh.
okay po. This is core subjects of senior high. So whether you take up arts and design track, academic track, or the TVL track, you will take all this. Oral com, reading, writing, komunikasyon, pagbasa, gen math. So these are mostly these are all split into
And these
2 years.
subjects are offered in the senior high
Senior
or
high school,
junior
11
high?
and 12. So all of
Ah,
these
okay.
all of these have to be taken for you to pass senior high regardless of your chosen field. So if you took up the TVL track, under the TVL track, let's say you took up uh, welding, you're still gonna take all this plus welding. So when you graduate, you have a senior high diploma plus an NC1 or an NC2 welding from TESDA.
One
So,
student of mine last semester asked the same question. If that is true, that at the end of senior high, the student receives certificate of NC1 or NC2. Why is it that in my school, no one has received any?
baka hindi po accredited ng TESDA yung school. The school kasi has to be accredited by TESDA
Oo.
for them to be issued that certificate. Otherwise, you only get the diploma that says that you took up senior high in the TVL track, which is issued by the school. So if you are TESDA accredited, you will have the TESDA certification. Pero
Does
if
it
you,
okay?
if
Does it
you,
imply does it imply that when a school is offering these test the subjects, the school has to tie up with
not
to test that?
necessarily, pero it would be nice because under TESDA kasi they have partnerships with private companies. So those private companies nakahilera na po, naka-inline na to take on graduates. So that's one thing nice if especially kung in that region, yung 'di ba may mga regional offices, malakas yung TESDA doon, marami silang partnerships. You are guaranteed of work kaagad, which is what actually TESDA is supposed to be. Now, not all naman follow that. Like our school is not TESDA accredited. So they get the diploma, and then after that, bahala na sila. We don't have any obligation to make sure they are hired, or if they're going to college or what.
So
Okay.
you're saying
Yes,
that
po.
if the school is accredited by TESDA, you are accountable for their employment in the future?
Not you per se, but
The
if
school
they
itself.
have partners, yeah, nandyan na. I mean,
There is a
you
MOA.
have the you have kumbaga you are madaling ma-employ because they're there already. They are looking for workers already.
So
So
agreement should be concretized in the form of MOA?
depends, as I said, depends. If malakas yung regional office of TESDA na marami talaga siyang partners, they do have a MOA that they sign that says na let's say
There is already job
Coca-Cola.
after graduation.
I don't know about that one. I'll give an example like Coca-Cola kasi sila yung nakita ko always sa news that partners with TESDA. They have partners with TESDA. So depends on the course that they take, and then sabi ni Coca-Cola, oh, we need graduates of this and this course. Um, their nearest, di ba tayo, meron tayong factory sa atin, so we are lucky here. So I don't know about the other regions that have a Coca-Cola plant near them, but since we have here, they will go to the TESDA accredited partner schools and say na okay, pag graduate ng ano mo ng May, we want the first pick, kumbaga first pick of the litter. So the school will forward their names, especially yung mga top sa kanilang class. And mauna magpipili doon si Coca-Cola or any of the partner industries that they have. So in exchange, these partner industry actually helps the school out. Minsan sponsorship, minsan grants, and minsan, usually, di ba nakikita nyo, may mga parang billboards dyan. Bakit kaya sila may billboards? They will usually fix something in the school for you, like, oh, we will fix all your aircon, or we'll fix all your window, or paayusin namin yung inyong basketball court. There's an exchange. One of those is usually gato. They have the first pick of the graduates. So for those, of course, it's very beneficial for the students because alam nila na, hey, I have to, I have to graduate top of my class. I might be picked for work kagad. Um, it's not a guarantee, as I said, that depends on partnership. Some schools are strong, some schools are not. So kung, I
So it
guess kung
tells us
nakikita ng
that
partner yung school na, wow, these guys turn out very good graduates, edi mas mabangong magpa-partner with them all the time. Would
so
you
it
like to
tells
see?
us that
Yes, go.
okay, it tells us that when you intend to become an administrator or you would like to open
Yeah,
at
partnerships
TESDA,
is
oo, you
yes.
take partnership with and have a siguro MOA because it ensures the employment ng mga graduates nila. And they give more preference to their graduates because there is already an agreement.
Yes.
Kaya pala yung isang school that I know, um, there are those students, strand, ABM halimbawa ang strand, during their practicum, they try themselves to perform the best they could para ma-absorb sila. So parang naging individualized na lang yung kanilang aspiration. Wala silang, there is no what you call this, agreement between the school and the TESDA. So sabi nila, we have not received any certificate. But I'm trying, sabi niya, I'm trying my best, ma'am, na makuha talaga ako. Of course, at the end of the senior high niya, she was absorbed
That's nice.
based on her performance. Pero the school, I mean the TESDA is not accountable for any employment ng mga graduates nila. So it tells us now, halimbawa mag-open ka, if you would like to open up a school of your own, ha? So it is, the aim is itself, gusto mo ng future employment ng mga graduates mo. So if you would like to ensure yung kailang employment in the future, definitely you would desire to
Yeah.
say make an agreement with TESDA
Yes.
para
Yes.
sure.
Partnerships and networks talagang is very important for a school,
Oo.
especially right now. It would be nice to accredit the school sa TESDA because not all industries anymore require college degrees. So
Oo.
especially in the fields of arts, yung mga home ec, yung ganon, pagiging baristas, beauty, fashion, ganyan, they don't require a college diploma. They are talagang very skills based. What can you show us ganun. So right now malakas ang TESDA such that umaakyat ang kanilang funding. So these are the core subjects of JHS. So they have a mother tongue subject that will depend on the school what the mother tongue subject will be kasi it will depend on place to place, region to region. There's Filipino, English, Araling Panglipunan, Science, Math, Music, Arts, Edukasyong Pangkatao, which I think is GMRC, and Edukasyon Pantahanan, which is mostly home economics,
Oo.
and PE 1, 2, 3, 4. So each what do you call this quarter will have PE. Ang PE kasi is only 20 hours. So kung per quarter yan, 20 hours lang per quarter. So iba kasi ang JHS, quarter sila, and then ang SHS naman term. So then they also have TLE, which is kind of like ano din, the subjects that I showed kanina. Those are all TLE, TVL subjects. So when you have a school that has offered some TLE with TESTA certification, then you can get NC1 and NC2.
Hmm.
So let me go back to needs assessment. So back to this one. Let me just make it bigger. All right. So needs assessment. Needs assessment, also known as environmental STAN, is a procedure that entails determining a company's needs and establishing criteria for determining how to best allocate available resources. This goes both ways. This is not just needs assessment of a company, it's also needs assessment of a school. So for you, let's say, as Doc says, you want to open up your own textbook school, or if you are in senior high or junior high, you want to accredit for TESDA, so then you can have NC1, NC2, and NC3. So at least you'll have two certificates, well, one your diploma and the other one your certificate. You first need to assess needs assessment, environmental scan, what is around you, what can be employable. So you have to assess your community's strengths, weakness, and needs, and assets, of course. Asset not just being, let's say, your local LGU, partner companies around you. Assets can be everything, including your own teachers. So those are essential first step in planning for establishing your own textbook training center. So a community's goal for assessment for a vocational school. Let's say you are starting for a textbook school. So you have to find out the number of youth from low income families because it's not necessarily low income families, but those who do not want to proceed to college and instead would like to attend a tech book instead, um, to improve their quality of life and economic standing. So, sino to mga families nito, you have to pinpoint. Determine saan yung mga gaps in the entrepreneurial ability and essential job skills. Do you need like leadership assessments then? Assist in the preparation of training by determining subject by subject requirement. Find modules because that's very important. You need those modules if you want to establish something new, especially ngayon. Everything is not just about business, but iba kasi yung mindset of business or entrepreneurial mindset. It does not mean that you have to go into business. It just means that you are thinking of the business. So you're thinking of long-term planning, looking at the bigger picture than the smaller picture. You're not looking at the now, you're looking at a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So you have planning for that long range planning. So identify or define your intended training results because you want to churn out how many graduates, you want to churn out what graduates they are. You want to be, if you're part of the goals of your school is, I want to be the best school. I want all the all the companies, the big companies around me to come to this school and partner up. Then you have to determine the circumstances, of course, which training and skills building program will take place. So a lot of that will be your place, um, what will lead up to this. So a lot of those have to be considered if you are opening your own textbook school. All right. Now let's talk about new and changing occupations because this one really will affect tech work. Especially as I said, a lot of industries don't need college anymore. They need skills. Now, what are these skills that they need? Because we actually don't need entry level skills anymore. That's no longer competitive. Right now, the most competitive thing is this one, cognitive capitalism. That's the new stage of development. That's what everybody is emphasizing on. The emphasis is on technology, innovation, and the creative industry. Everything to do with the mind, cognitive. So we've learned that in education, cognitive, everything about the mind. So that will include creatives. So anything
Oo.
innovative and everything creative
Tama.
falls under this. These are the trends right now. So gone were the days when you were training people to be office ladies lang. No, you can't be just office ladies. You need, if you're training somebody to be an office lady, that office lady needs to know computer trends, how to do reports, how to file reports, how to do all the, or knows at least all the basic programs that we use right now, including this one, Google Meet, all the Google products, Google Sheets, Google Docs, all the Microsofts, all that. So, United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, or UNESCO, has this thing that they call International Center for Technical Vocational Education Training, UNIVOC. It is for UNESCO to talagang push technical vocational. So UNIVOC says, or further points out, that innovation is the main driver of future social and economic development. You want your country to develop socially and economically, we need to innovate. So they are giving us international efforts. So they're actually helping out some and giving grants here and there, and they are releasing and have released, which is in my sources, a lot of materials for our test that to implement. So a lot of the newer trends that we are actually following Univoc. So they have a 2030 agenda, and part of the 2030 agenda is education. So there is a big push for ICT. They've been pushing ICT 5 years ago, and they're still pushing ICT now because that's where they see that the trends are going. You want you want to be something, you want, even, even if you're just in welding, or even if you're just taking up baking, you need some ICT skills. Right now I am teaching performing arts, but it's not all about dancing or singing or theater or production of them. A lot of them actually uses heavily into the ICT. We need to have these programs. So all my students right now know how to edit videos, even if it's just a 10-minute video. Everybody knows how to conduct online seminars, online games, and everything, because I feel like that is what they need. So because of this whole push for ICT, I actually push the students. And yeah, at first, maraming nagko-complain na parents na, this is just art. Why do they need to know all these? Why do you have to make them do this? Make them do editing. They need to edit the picture. They make thumbnails. They make this. They make that. And then I tell them, because that is what they need to survive, even if they don't want to go into college, because the arts and design track is designed that way. They are designed to either go to a specific art course or to work straight after senior high. Now, if they don't know these skills, I have not done my job properly. So Univoc has pushed promotion of lifelong learning, enhancing learning engagement and social learning, which is the blended learning and the flip classroom techniques, which we are implementing. The flip classroom technique. I would recommend that, especially for those who will start going into face to face. The flip classroom method works because they have to the kids, the students will have to study in advance, and when they get to class, discussions, games, activities na lang. Kaysa magdi-discuss kayo sa classroom pa lang. So it's a little different. Kaya it's called the flip classroom technique.
How do they enroll?
Sorry?
How do they enroll in that? Univo?
And Univoc is from UNESCO. It's
What
their
about
arm. It's UNESCO's arm in grants and pushing the tech voc into the other countries. So it's part of UNESCO. It's a department under UNESCO. Ito pa siya. This one. See, vocational educational training. They're in short Univoc, which is UNESCO plus vocational. So Univoc ang tawag nila. So Univoc works actually with TESDA. So they have a lot of materials that they've given. There are also grants you can apply in if you are a TESDA accredited school. Pero as I said, they are pushing ICT because they know information and innovation is the way to go. So you want your country to advance economically, innovations are the way to go. So these are the in-demand courses in TESDA as of 2018. I don't have their latest numbers. Nobody has released the latest numbers yet. So as of today, these are the top 10. But I will give you an example from other countries. So food talagang I think kasi tayo mga Filipino, we like to eat. So number one sa atin ang food and beverage. So 2018 for TESDA. So this does not include the non-TESDA schools. This is only for the ones who have graduated an NC2 in food and beverage service, 52,000 plus. Shielded metal arc welding. So welding is something that they've learned, which I have talked to some people, and what they actually told me is there is a new and high demand for lady welders. Apparently, lady welders now can weld small and very intricate things compared to guys. So I don't know if that's a preference, but it is a trend right now. Cookery, as I said, tayo mga Pinoy, mahilig tayong kumain. One of the industries that was not affected by COVID is actually food. In fact, nag-increase ang ating demand for food when we were in lockdown. Bread and pastry, housekeeping, because the hotel industry has a big demand for in housekeeping, electrical installation and maintenance, so that is in demand din ngayon. Computer system service, shielded metal arc welding na NC1, household services, and bookkeeping. Now, I'll
Bakit
show
walang
you.
LSI?
Ano po? LSI?
Bakit wala? Oo.
Hindi po siya nakapasok sa top 10.
Pero still, sa top 10 lang
Ah, yes
siya.
po. Top 10 na po.
Oo.
And baka I don't have the latest numbers din.
I see. Kasi nakalagay dun sa report mo yung sa Women's Center at saka
Yes
yung
po. Ito yung top
LSI.
10 lang po. Yeah, yes po. The top 10. Now, this is the latest that I can find. Canada was the latest. So they have 2021, what's this, tech voc in demand courses in Canada as of 2021. So they are the ones who gave out the latest. So ito lang po makuha ko. These are, sorry, nagkamali na dito sa kabila, but this is top 20. So pagdating dito 11 na ito up to 20 here. So number one right now, because nga we are pushing for the ICT, is SEO, or search engine optimization. A lot of people want good SEOs, especially when they're dealing with social media and websites. That's actually a very lucrative thing right now. So yung mga freelancers who will fix your website and put SEO in them, malaki pong demand for that. So you can work on your own, or you can work for a big company. Then there's digital marketing. Right now, actually, you can offer SEO under digital marketing. Photography, especially right now, we're starting with weddings again and other events. Fashion. Fashion is a $1.3 billion industry worldwide. So it's also 10% of our waste. But yeah, it's still big. Animation, especially since COVID, nakita natin how lucrative the animation industry is. Everybody wanted to watch something. So we are very happy that Mr. Budget Tan, the writer and creator of Trece Comics, has actually made his dreams come true by having uh, his comics, Trece, become an animation which was distributed under Netflix. Beautician courses, foreign languages, translation services, typing, tax and practicing procedure, foreign trade, catering, marketing and advertising, tourism, ICT, cinematography, multimedia, counseling psychology, computer application, and office management secretarial practices. So these are the in demand courses in Canada. After they take their grade 11 and 12, they go into these, um, and then that's it. They're employable kagad. All right. So here's a sample, or just an overview of vocational education in other countries. So in Hong Kong, it's the creative industries that actually have thrived. So Hong Kong has very good promotion from the government on the tech voc. So ang kanilang trends naman is all mostly in the creatives. In South Korea, what their fields are is mostly agricultural, technology engineering, commerce and business, maritime fishery, and home economics. They can also take this in grade 11, 12. Half of the tech voc schools in South Korea are private, so only half are operated by the government. In the US, it's a little different. So vocational school or technical colleges, or what's this? They can take those after they graduate high school. So it's different. Or if they obtained a GED, which is their equivalent, the equivalent test. So a lot of vocational courses are offered, mostly home ec, wood, metal shop, typing. Before, years ago, I don't know how many years ago, these were all learned in high school. So, di ba, most of their education there is public. So these are supposed to be part of their public school education. However, sometime during the course of history, they got defunded and many schools cut these programs. So they feel like these are the programs that they needed to cut first, which is sayang because these are the ones who's going to get them employed first. So in the EU, there's an oversupply of university graduates. And that's aggravating a lot of people because there are a lot of unemployed and underemployed people. So trade school and vocational school became popular. Say even if they're universities in the EU, especially if you are an EU member, college is free sa kanila. Pero hindi naman sila ma-employ. So even if it's free, they feel like the 4 years that they have is sayang. So a lot of people opt to go to vocational school instead. That way, ano ka kagad? Employed ka kagad. Because there, compared to here, even if you are blue collar job, hindi ka quite white collar job, you can actually exist. Okay yung pay. Unlike dito sa atin, ang ating blue collar job, medyo mahirap. You'll need both mom and dad to work, especially if you have kids. Doon sa kanila, kahit na one parent will work, kaya with just trade school ang finish mo. So it's a little different compared to us. All right, so let's talk about a vocational educational curriculum specialist. A vocational educational curricular specialist is likely to work in many different capacities. So they're not just a curricularist, they are instructors, department chairpersons, dean of vocational technical education, vocational supervisor, the principal, the state or local director, and curriculum coordinator. Sometimes you're one or two of these rolled in one, especially in this country. You're all rolled into one. I don't know if that's a labor problem or maybe because your skills will entail all of these jobs at the same time. So your responsibility is planning and organizing, actualizing, and controlling the work of the educational team. You have to plan, organize, and evaluate content because the learning process of the kids. You need to facilitate that. There are objectives to be achieved. You need to make sure they are achieved. You need to diagnose present and projected trainings needed in the business, the industry. Kasi what are we doing this for if you keep doing the same? Let's say, kumuha ka ng curriculum na 10 years ago, pero hindi naman pala applicable yon because the businesses, the industry, the trends right now, that's not what they are. What's this learning? Actually, because of my research on this and my previous research in another subject, I began to ask the school, hey, ano ang ating TLE, TBL subjects? And, what are they? How do we teach them? And then I found out we don't. We just give the book and the module to the parents and bahala na sila. So then I asked them, what if tinatamad yung parent? Anong nilalagay nila doon? Wala. Kahit ano, picture ng bahay nila, them cooking, staged pictures, which is actually true. And then I realized, o nga pala, kaya pala nagko-complain si Mrs. ganun na bakit daw hindi natin bigyan ng grade yung anak niya. And like, we are not supposed to be giving them the grade because yung mga home ec subjects, supposed to be the parents will give that grade because sila yung nasa bahay. Who will judge your home ec at home? So then I told the school maybe we can train the teachers, um, bring in more teachers if needed, give parents options of different things. Kasi what if you don't like home ec? What if you don't like cooking? Don't we have any other options? So dalawa lang palang options namin in our school for the TLE subject, which is cooking and plants, parang maging plantita or plantito ka, something like that. So parang what yun lang offer natin, why can't we offer more? And they're like, oh, because we didn't know that we can offer more. Like, yes, we can offer more because depends on the school what we want to offer. We just have to look at the curriculum guide provided by DepEd, which they have naman. It's very open to us. And based on that, we will make a proper plan to make sure na kasi when we were reviewing the books, maraming nag-complain, especially the parents who are also teachers in the school because they can spot na, hey, itong tinuturo natin is actually very outdated. And so I asked, define outdated. Sabi niya, well, the book, it looks like 20 years ago. Tapos hindi siya na, wala siyang newer edition. So parang natira until 20 years ago. Sabi ko, wala tayong mga ICT application, even cooking has ICT applications and all that. Sabi niya, wala. True enough, because one of my subjects is exhibits, culminating exhibits. So I have to, and what's this, portfolio development. When I saw the book, which I did not require the book, last year, na-require yung book because supposed to be I was not to be the teacher. Last minute lang ako naging teacher. This year, I told them I don't like to require the book sa kids because it's a very outdated book. I said, wala nang ganyan ngayon. And it's outdated. So, like this, you have to diagnose and see where the needs of the business, the industry, and the educational institution for your learners. If ganon, outdated yung iyong mga materials, so I told them, no, I will rely on my research and my past experiences to teach this subject because this book, this instructional manual, all these materials that are provided to us is very outdated. And if I insist on teaching this, kawawa naman yung students ko pag let's say they don't want to go straight to college kasi a lot of them did express that they want to go straight into work after senior high, especially seeing the climate right now na lockdown hindi open na pero not quite, ganyan, so they feel like maybe it's better if we started to work. So I said that's good now that senior high and this, and I gave you all the things that you need to learn. You should be able to get hired as the following. I need to show them that they can be hired into the following with the most updated learning that they can. So you have to know all that. And I'm not even a tech voc person, but I have to apply tech voc because it's senior high. So the tech voc training teachers are expected to set high expectation. They have to inspire, motivate, and challenge the pupils. Right now, ayaw ng parents yung challenge. Inspire, motivate, yes. Challenge, ayaw nila. But yan talaga eh. They equate challenge with stress. But I keep telling the parents, which you can tell them, this is a nice quote. You can't have a diamond without stress. Diba? You need to put pressure and stress on carbon to turn it into diamond. Without that, we will not have diamond. So we have to challenge the pupils for them to become diamond in the rough. So you have to promote good progress and outcomes because TechVoc is actually outcomes based. Although in senior high, there is a grade equivalent pa rin. So you have to have 95, 35, 85, yung ganong score. I'm very outcomes based. If may rubric ako that they have to meet. So even if ang ganda talaga ng kanyang presentation, he composed his own songs, he sang it, but he did not meet the rubric. Marketability niya na wala. Wala siyang nilagay na elements of this, wala siyang ganito, pangit ng lighting niya, even if ang ganda-ganda ng sounds niya, pero pangit ng lighting niya. Ang baba ng score niya, and nagalit yung parent kasi bakit daw ganon. So I tell them this is based on outcomes. There is a rubric and there is corresponding number that I put based on that if they hit the target. He did not hit the target. As much as ang ganda ng kanyang performance, everything else did not hit the target. So outcomes based. They have to demonstrate good subject and curriculum knowledge. Your teachers cannot teach if they don't know how to do it. So, in other words, if they're gonna teach, let's say, dressmaking, if they don't know how to sew, they cannot be dressmakers. Plan, teach well structured lessons. You need to come up with a plan because whatever you download from the DepEd site is very broad. You have to insert everything in between them. It has to be very current. So actually kami, in our school, we dedicate at least 2 weeks of planning, and we have what's this curriculum specialist with us who actually hinihimay-himay niya lahat ng aming um, what's this lesson plans, activities, PBAs, because we don't just make PBAs, we have to design a PBA or performance based assessment. So you need to adapt teaching to respond to the strength and need of the pupils. So kung nakikita ko na this batch, they
Precisely.
need to do this or they know how to do this, so we will do it this way. My current batch ngayon of grade 11 students, most of them, or pwera sa isa, everybody else is going to do animation. That one person who's not going to do animation, she has animation around her. So we are doing movies kasi this term. So I am basing this na, hey, they can do 2D animation. That's what I'm judging them, and that's where I'm pushing them to. And some parents may like, bakit? Because I could see that your kid can do it. So why not push them to do it? Make accurate and productive use of assessment. Assessment is a very tricky tool right now. Because a lot of parents do not understand what assessment is. Let's understand that these parents grew up in the old ways of assessment, where there is a 100-point test, either it's identification or multiple choice, and that's the extent of their assessment, which isn't anymore. Iba na
Mm-mm.
assessments ngayon, especially in the tech book, where everything is outcomes based. You have to manage behavior effectively because you're still in a school. So everybody has to be safe, everybody has to be good. Therefore, this is part of being a teacher. You have to manage your student and fulfill wider professional responsibilities. Yeah, I think lahat tayo na-feel natin yan every day. All right, so here are some of the problems in the tech woke education system. Teachers must understand the impact of technology on social change, economic change, political change, value change, human development, and cultural patterns. You'll see cultural patterns in the amount of memes we put out. Kasi, dyan mo matatrack. But they're all on the internet. Ganyan talagang impact ng technology. Right now, dati, I felt like, hey, magpalabas lang ng YouTube video, nakikinig yung mga kids. Ngayon, ayaw na makinig ng kids sa YouTube videos that I put out that, I spend hours making. Then I figured, nawawala na kasing attention span nila yan. Now, I actually incorporate TikTok videos. Kasi ngayon, they have EduTalk, which is educational TikToks. I make some, and then some I look for on TikTok, and you can actually get a wide variety to help. One or two TikTok videos before the start of the class. The first TikTok is usually something inspirational. The second TikTok is something pertinent to the class. It gets their attention. So as a teacher, you need to see that that's the technology change, that is the social change, and that's the cultural pattern. That is how I have to teach the kids if I want to reach them. So there are fewer teacher education programs right now to train technical educators. There's a big demand, but there's not enough teachers to teach. So, diba, if we can only train more, marami kasing criteria to be a tech voc teacher, and one of them is you need to be in the industry to teach the industry. As I said, you cannot be teaching dressmaking if you don't
Correct.
know how to dress or how you don't know how to
Correct.
do sewing. Haberdashery is different then. That's actually one of my weakest points. I can sew, I cannot do haberdashery. The computations for haberdashery is too precise. I'm having a hard time. I can, pero talagang it will take me like 2 weeks just to make one piece of shirt, as compared to making a dress, which can take me a day or two. So there are things like that to be considered. Fewer educational programs help prospective teacher develop skills, especially teachers who will understand or assist the disadvantaged. Now, disadvantage does not mean only poor. There are some who are tawag nila other abled, yung may kapansanan, whether it's mental or physical. If a person is other abled, doesn't mean they cannot be productive members of society. If only they had a teacher, di ba, that can understand them and know how to assist them. And nakita naman natin sa news, di ba, yung, wow, ang ganda niya mag-paint pero wala siyang hands, so ginagamit niya yung kanyang paa. and things like those. So those are other abled people who develop skills. If only we had teachers to assist them, then we'd have more of them. And then we lack set standards, especially for on-the-job performance. Kung tinapon natin sila to our partner industries, then what? Paano yung walang standards for that? And then most vocational teacher education literature cost. They cost money. It's hard to get the literature or our modules and stuff. Also because that actually ties into the lack of set standards. We don't have the literature because we don't have the standards. Okay, so my personal thought, vocational learning, also known as practical learning, is very practical. As I said, marami na ngayon opt not to go to college. So for the art industry, which is I'm very passionate about, is one of those industry that you don't need college degrees for, unless you will go into higher education, like me. So I came from an art degree, and now I have proceeded to MAEM because that's my direction. Perhaps after this, I will get a doctorate, but in an art field, maybe art history or art management, leadership management in arts, or something. So that's my direction. For the others who don't have that direction, maybe tech voc is the best way to go. Or if they want mabilisan, SHS and JHS training palang, meron na sila nito. So after that, when you're grade 12, you would be about 18 by the time you graduate, straight to work na kagad. So we should all try one or two courses to add to our ever gaining knowledge. Even us who are not tech voc teachers, we should try tech voc. Let's try some courses because right now Testa actually has a lot of free courses and they are online. So diba, it's so easy to add to our skill space, especially online. And if you don't like Testa, there are so many online that are free and may iba which are paid. So we must support tech folk education in the community. So it starts with the community. Mamaya natin tingnan ng TESDA as a whole. Let's first support yung ating mga tech folk schools in the community. If maybe you have a business, maybe you can start partnering with them. Maybe you can even help them. Maybe they can apprentice sa iyo. You as a teacher, maybe you have something to do or you have knowledge to impart sa kanila. So TechVoc must integrate ICT and creative industry, both. That is actually the latest trends ngayon. They call it STEAM, not STEM. So it's STEM plus arts, kaya STEAM. The industry right now, even if you are in the technology or the engineering um, industries, they do demand a certain artistic quality or creativeness in your part, which will actually push the graduates. They'll be more competitive that way. So they have to have both ICT and creative industries in them. So with that, I thank you for listening to me. These are my sources. Medyo marami-raming sources.
For 1.5 hours.
I'm sorry.
You have informed the group.
Yes, it is very lengthy. I wanted to be more thorough because it is a very big topic. When you assign tech voc and all those underneath them needs assessment, curriculum specialists and all, like, oh, great, this is a very big topic. Pero rest assured, Doc, this isn't the longest I have done.
Anyway.
Because in EDUC104, see, Dr. Musico made me do a report on
It's almost
ISO.
3 o'clock.
It was 75 slides long.
But it's very informative. Okay, na. It's very
Okay.
informative.
I will take
In fact, I
questions.
would like to ask you
Yes.
to please flashback
Yes.
flashback that slide na merong Korea, may Europe, may
Sige pa.
US.
One sec po. Yung curriculum in other countries. Ito pa.
Oo, yan. Look at EU. Yung EU. Yung Europe
Yes.
yun di ba?
Yes po.
Pwedeng
So,
paano palaki?
okay. One sec po. Here we go. So right now, because nga ang
I would
daming...
like to ask.
Ah, yes po.
Okay. I would like to ask reaction from the group. What do you think of EU or Europe vis-a-vis Hong Kong, Korea, and US in terms of curriculum? I mean, everybody can just look at it kasi very particular ako sa curriculum eh. What could be the problem of Europe that is very much relatable sa Philippines? Anybody? It's a follow-up question. Why do you think we have more unemployed graduates? Graduates with no direction, hence unemployed. And therefore, they got employment in occupations that are different from the degrees obtained. Anybody from the group outside Maita? Why are you still there? Baka natulog na kayo, ha?
Good afternoon, Doc.
Oh, sige daw.
Doc,
Matulog.
maybe it's because we adopted the K-12 program. Hindi masyadong, ngayon lang, bago lang kasi parang 2017, ay 20,
Ah, lahat na
parang
sila K-12.
2016.
K-12 na.
Doc,
Oo.
pero kasi maybe underskilled from the slide of my mamaita, underskilled po, and in the Philippines we have lack of support. Though ngayon parang nag-grow na yung support ng government kasi they offer vocational or NC2 courses that are free. May scholarship na ngayon. But before, hindi masyadong hindi masyado yung support ng government. Like for example, in agriculture, ang support ng government sa agriculture hindi masyadong malaki also, and the lack of knowledge of the Filipinos.
Oh, what else? Another insight from the group. Kasi dapat ano kayo eh, we should be observant. Kaya yun ang purpose ko why I tried to create a curriculum for your subject na ma-widen yung inyong horizon in curriculum designing. Sa report kasi ni Maita is very concrete yung kanilang immersion, yung hands-out, yung hands-on nila. And look at this. Di ba we have oversupply of graduates also. And we are diploma and degree-oriented community. Napansin niyo yun? We are
Yeah, we have this big need.
diploma-oriented society.
Pero
And
Doc, right
ano
now
pa yung
hindi na
kulang?
po
Meron
eh.
silang needs assessment.
There's a shift, but this shift is quite recent, like just before COVID and na-push ng COVID, na it's for just specific industries. Hindi na tayo naghahanap ng diploma for very specific industries, which are the industries in the IT and the creative industries. Talagang skills.
Yes. Pero ngayon lang yan.
Ngayon pa lang.
Ngayon na lang
pa
yan
lang.
nangyari.
Opo. Ngayon pa
Kaya
lang.
kaya ngayon we lag behind other countries. In fact, we are the last country to adopt K-12 program. Now, having adopted the K-12 program, anong nakita nyo sa approaches that the Philippines is using vis-a-vis these areas also, Hong Kong, South Korea, US, EU? I just hope you were following up yung report ni Maita. Kasi Maraming insight na makukuha dun eh. Come to think about yung mga vocational subjects na na-offer na, they are in demand outside the Philippines. Bakit dito sa atin hindi in demand?
Hindi pa tayo
What's the
nag-catch up.
problem?
Hindi pa po tayo
Why
nag-catch
should
up.
we serve other countries? O yun.
Because we can earn in
Or,
dollars.
another thing, kasi tinatanong ko yun eh. Oo, yung gano'n. And the value system ng Pilipino, di ba? It's more on, nawala na rin yung ibang values natin kasi the fact that we are, pero hindi na ngayon yun eh. Dati noon, ngayon, wala na yung kahit pa sabihin nating family-oriented nation tayo. It begins to, sabihin natin, it shifted from family-oriented to pocket-oriented, economic orientation. I'm going to leave the family because the reason is for the family. I'm going to leave my family to get a job outside because there is a job outside. I do not job in the Philippines. So I'm leaving the family for the sake of the family. Hindi ko makita yun.
Right now, Doc, there is a
Kasi
very
parang
big
ang
shift
ibig
in
sabihin
the
nun,
creative
which is more,
industries. Um,
sabihin nating,
right now, Doc, ang nakikita kong strong here in Davao in particular are the creative industries. This is being pushed by the women's group here. I don't know if you are all very familiar with the mga ladies group that are very strong here in Davao. They are pushing for the ICT in um, what's this mga creative industries. Example, SEO, search engine optimization, yung number one nga sa Canada. We can do that while being here. So I have met a group of mothers who are actually doing that. Yun lang, search engine optimization. They offer their services, they're paid in dollars, they stay here in the country. Mga creative industries din, ganun din. Mag-aano sila, online, everything
a
is
home and
online. Hmm?
so again, we will call for the attention of the government. The
I've
economic
seen po
natin at yung status natin,
the
the
barangay of
costing of
Tagum.
peso.
Yes po. The barangay of Tagum has been offering free classes on how to do ano nga yung mga ano. They have a few courses for online. Yung mga short 1 day, 2 day per full day courses. So you can start an online business offering your services for a broad market. Which is actually sila lang nagbibigay nyon, and I was wondering bakit here in Davao City we do not have that. Yun ang nakita ko lang sa ano, one of those nag-pop up sa aking feed
Siguro
in.
it has to be related to the government para you get the government support. If you are
Siguro
the
po.
person who initiated that, who created that, you make a proposal to the government. Maybe sa local mo muna. And if it's viable sa local, it could be radiated sa ibang area, sa municipality, sa city, and then region, and then siguro sa taas. Siguro kailangan natin, we have to open the eyes of our top managers on this area. Kasi nakita ko din, ang daming insights sa dito if you would like to progress. Kasi yung son ko ayaw magtapos na mag-aral eh. His job is yung creation ng gaming
Yes,
in
that's a very
computers.
lucrative right now.
Oh. Oo, yun na nga nakita ko. In fact, I was even asking, bakit ayaw mo magpatuloy ng pag-aaral? Ay, I don't need anymore that diploma. Ano naman sabi sa akin?
Hindi
And
na
he's
po.
earning.
Yes
Oh,
po.
hindi na
In
niya
in
kailangan
the game
mag-aral.
industries, they don't look at diploma anymore po. Although they have partner
Oh.
schools, pero diploma wise, hindi na po. My sister kasi is executive
Kaya
director
nga.
of the Game Development
With the
Association.
vocational
Yeah.
education industry, kumbaga.
Basta you know how to,
Na
you're
hopefully,
hireable na po. Yeah.
pero mangyayari nan is, because we're so enticed, no? Enticed na tayo sa skills. Kawawa naman yung iba. Kasi not all degrees ba yan, and not all employments yung may skills talaga. What will happen is it will die out also our academic, ano? 'Di ba? Academic institutions. Kawawa naman. So
Baka hindi naman po die
it
out,
might,
no?
no? It might imply
It,
na
I think it would
baka
just
it might die.
evolve. I think it will just evolve. I don't think it will die out naman talaga. But they have to change. They have to
Depende.
innovate.
Kasi kung everybody, if everybody will enroll na lang lahat sa skills, for example, what will happen to our academic pursuit? Yun ang kailangan may balancing din ang economy natin. 'Di ba? Okay, ipaki-flash daw yung second to the last slide. Second to the last slide yan.
My
Meron ako
thoughts
nakita
or
na.
problems in the tech woke system?
Hindi. Yan ba?
Tech
Yata. Hindi yung isa. Yan, ito.
sorry. Ito tech
Teachers who
woke.
are teaching textbook. Everybody is teaching textbook here. O si Maita lang yata.
Hindi po ako tech
Anybody
woke
is
teacher.
teaching textbook.
Arts and design track po. ako.
Anybody? Pakilaki daw. May macro mo daw, hindi ko masyadong mabasa. For those who are teaching, TLE. Okay, TLE tayo. Ano ba yung TLE? Technology, livelihood, education. Ano pa yung isa na merong home economics?
TVL?
TLE lang ba?
TVL.
TBL? Okay.
TLE is for
For those who are
JHS.
teaching.
TLE is for SHS.
Okay. Tanong ko, try to examine yourself dun sa 1 to 8. In a scale of 1 to 5, where are you? Mira. I would like to listen to you kasi natututo kayo eh. 1 to, in the scale of 1 to 5. It may not be textbook, it may not be TPL, it may not be TLE, pero lahat ng subjects, kasi related ito dun sa sa lahat ng subjects nyo. What do you think? How do you teach your subjects para makadevelop sila ng skill?
Subject ko. Skills.
Doc, good afternoon. For example, Doc, sa grade 1,
Ruby?
ay ma'am, ikaw sa ma'am. Sige. For example, itong textbook, meaning technology, di ba? We're talking about technology, how to use the gadgets, using the 21st century strategy. So as pandemic, na-experience natin, in my school, sa grade on we are using through media. For example, they using the gamified, yung lessons, i-game mo na siya, use Microsoft Teams, ganun. So you are teaching the learners on how to use their laptops, kung paano sila magpasok doon. Then yung mga quizzes namin, we are now converting from the hard copy into Google Forms. So by clicking only, nakuha na nila yung outright, nakukuha nila yung score. So yun. I think that one way also introducing the technology.
Do you demonstrate good subjects and curriculum knowledge? Do you plan? Do you structure well the lessons? In structuring, is it simplified in such a way na well understood by the learner? Do you try to scan the strengths and needs of your pupils? Do you have, sabihin natin, concrete and productive assessment tool? And how do you manage yung sabihin natin, the behavior of your students? And how do you widen your professional responsibilities? How many of us, of you, who are willing to widen professional responsibilities? Or how do you believe?
attending what do you call this? Trainings, ma'am. Our DepEd actually, si Doc Percy sa DepEd na siya sa national. They are conducting webinars on how to empower teachers sa pag in delivering the learnings, yung may mga Kahoot, yung ganyan, they are introducing a lot of applications para para ma-educate din ang teachers. But only
And
sad
use
to
special
say na
education.
this is the reality, ma'am, hindi lahat ng mga bata natin, kung sa percentage, parang 10% lang of the population na merong mga gadgets. So, how can we maximize the implementation of the technology kung ang mga learners wala kulang o gadget? Because it's very hard only to use the mobile. Much better kung meron silang laptops or
Mahal na laptop.
desktop. Mas yun. For example, Minecraft, our ed introducing the Minecraft. It's very good, but kulang tayo ng facilities para makipag-compete sa other countries. Para ba tayo na at the stage of progressive? More parang ganyan ba, nag-develop pa ta. At least,
We have just we have just
nag-introduce na
adopted
ta.
it. Okay.
Yes po.
Any more
May
insight?
thanks na ako
Sige.
i-share. Yung ako, yung high school ko, Dok, yung school namin is Techbook in Cotabato City, Cantares National School, Techbook. First year kami, depende every Friday yan sa Dok, 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. po, Dok. Yun yung focus namin. Yung subject is, first year, pwede pa kayong mag-choose, pwede pa kayong mag-change. By example, ang ginakuha ko is home, yung housekeeping, NC2, yung, tawag, textbook,
Culinary.
Culinary.
ano?
Culinary.
Culinary. Opo, yan. Yan po, Dok. So, yun ang pinili ko eh. Sunod, ang iba, yung mga welding, Dok, depende pag ma-change mo, ma-identify mo kung gusto mo ba talaga yung course na gina-offer. By second year, pwede ka na mag-change ulit. So, sa third year, hindi ka pwede mag-change, continuous lang siya up to fourth year. At di and then sa fourth year, pag graduation na meron din ng, siya, accredited with ESDA, hindi ng mga galing so that sa assignment na mo, Doc, at di ito kapag sa kanina, may NC2, so ang school na mo mismo, di ka mga teachers is hawad na kayo sila mo train. Nagid every Friday, di ba? Hands-on din sa among skills. Like in cooking, mag-bake, o mag-cake, magbuhat og ice cream. O inana, Doc.
What is your learning? Oo. You're not only learning the skills, you're enjoying it. And then it satisfies your emotions,
Oo, Doc.
it satisfies your heart.
Mm-mm.
1.5 hours kay Maita nakuha niya.
Sorry, Doc.
Thank you, Mai. Very informative.
Okay na, Doc. Stop ko na, Doc.
Sige, thank you. Thank you. It implies to all of us na mga teachers sa ating respective na classroom, we can really prepare, concretize natin, simplify natin ang approach natin that is well understood, and find out anong skill ang you would like your pupils or your learners to learn more and develop according to his own personal direction. Kasi titingnan naman yung needs analysis yung SWOT analysis, very important yun. You would like to know ano yung strength ng bata, ano yung weakness ng bata. We cannot just sabihin natin isubo sa kanya yung gusto mo, hindi Kailangan mo yung malaman kung anong need niya, where you can fit in to assist yung i-develop mo yung direction niya ng skill niya. Very important yun. And sometimes we don't have the eye on this eh. Ang ating kasing eyes focus dun sa ating lesson, sa ating textbook. Hindi, we are not focused on the skill or the learner's skill or the learner's potential eh, that I would like to develop in him. Hindi kasi tayo nakaka-focus dun eh. Unlike yung ibang area, ibang countries na mayroon silang needs assessment. Sa atin, in our very own peculiar way dun sa ating classroom, find out the before a start of a class, look at them as a whole. How do I describe my pupil? How do I describe this guy, this girl? Ano yung nakikita kong potential sa kanya na pwede kong tulungan siyang ma-develop yung skill na yun. And that could be included in your lesson planning. And when you plan your lesson, see to it that it is very simple and doable. It's very important. Doable eh. Hindi yung imaginable masyado. Walang mangyayari dun sa inimagine mo yung perfection. Pero hindi naman attainable dun sa bata sa locality. So, dapat smart nga. Yung sinasabi smart, specific, measurable, attainable, time-bound, di ba? Smart, realistic. So, the implication for all of us, we may not really devise and change the curriculum that we have in the Philippines, but we can modify that according to the need of the moment, according to the specific need of your learner within your environment, teaching environment. Yun ang ano. And I did that actually in your class kasi kung titingnan ko yung curriculum at saka yung syllabus na nabigay sa akin, ako hindi ko makukuha yun. So I have to create my own in such a way na to widen your ano sabi knowledge as far as curriculum designing and enhancement. Wala yun sa syllabus nila din, wala din yun sa outline. So I just created because I would like also to learn to know ano yung mga needs talaga ng mga teachers kasi naiiwan tayo sa in terms of approach kaya iniisip natin yung to be able to perform what is designed according to yung verbatimly yung binibigay ng boss natin. Pero nalilimutan na natin na we are inside the classroom as a teacher, as a guide, as a facilitator, to teach, to help and assist our learner. Okay. So, meron pa siguro tayong ilang minuto kung sino pang gusto mag-report. Thank you, Mike. Sino ba ito? Si Blaze, andyan ba?
Yes, Doc. Good afternoon.
Okay. Ikaw ba yung nasusunod? Ikaw ba yung nasunod sa... Teka. Yeah. Ikaw yata may... Ikaw yata, ano, Blaze?
Hindi ko makita rin. Hello, Doc.
Go ahead.
Narinig? Okay, mag-present muna ako, Doc. Sadali lang. Asa na mo ito, Rex? Kalibot. Ay, hindi. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Doc. My topic is all about managerial skills and vocational education curriculum development. Actually, some of my report was already discussed by my Maita, but today, kung ano yung na-research ko, yun lang po yung i-report ko. Okay. First, okay, what is a managerial skills? Okay, managerial skills are the knowledge and ability of the individuals in a managerial position to fulfill some specific management activities or tasks. This knowledge and ability can be learned and practiced. However, they also can be acquired through practical implementation of required activities and tasks. Now, what is the importance of managerial skills? Being able to communicate clearly, coordinate, and motivate staff as well as plan tasks effectively are vital skills that all managers need. Management skills are important because they can help your company run like a well-oiled machine as well as your own career flourish. What are the types of management skills? The first one, we have the technical skills. Technical skills involve skills that give the managers the ability and the knowledge to use a variety of technique to achieve their objectives. These skills not only involve operating machines and software productions, tools, and pieces of equipment, but also the skills needed to boost sales, designs, different types of products and services, and market the service in the product. So that is a technical skills. And for the conceptual skills, this involves nakita po yung ano ko slides.
Yes.
Nakikita po.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay po. Okay, for the conceptual skills, this involves the skills managers present in terms of the knowledge and ability for abstract thinking and formulating ideas. The manager is able to see an entire concept, analyze and diagnose a problem, and find creative solution. This helps the manager to effectively predict hurdles the department or the business as a whole may face. So, if you are uh, you have the skills of conceptual, so ikaw yung dapat maka-analyze, good solving problems, broad thinking, you have a critical thinking, and then formulate effective course of action. And then another one, we have the human or interpersonal skills. So the human or the interpersonal skills are the skills that present the manager's ability to interact, work, or relate effectively with people. These skills are enable the managers to make use of human potential in the company and motivate the employees for better results. So, interpersonal skills, this means that if you are a manager, you have to have this kind of skills that for you na para enable ka pag meron kang good interpersonal relationship with your co-workers or with your yung mga nasasakupan mo, mas madali kang makikita mo kung ano yung mas effective o sino yung dapat ilagay dito sa posisyon na ito or mag-work sa ganitong area kasi nga you have this interpersonal relationship with skills towards your co-workers. And then, here are some examples of management skills. There is a wide range of skills that management should possess to run an organization effectively and efficiently. The following are 6 essential management skills that any manager ought to possess for them to perform their duties. First, planning. Planning is a vital aspect within an organization. It refers to one's ability to organize activities in line with set guidelines while still remaining within the limits of the available resources such as time, money, and labor. It is also the process of formulating a set of actions or one or more strategies to pursue and achieve certain goals or objectives with the available resources. So, ibig sabihin, so, dapat you have this plan. Di ba? Ganyan pala ginagawa natin when we go to our school. Pag magtuturo tayo, dapat meron tayong nakaprepare na lesson plan. Kasi, paano kung wala tayong lesson plan, if we are not well prepared sa ating tuturo, so parang it's useless. Then, communication. Possessing great communication skills is crucial for a manager. It can determine how well information is shared throughout a team. Ensuring that the group acts as a unified workforce, how well a manager communicates with the rest of his or her team also determines how well outlined procedures can be followed. how will the tasks and activities can be completed, and thus how successful an organization will be. So dapat you have this kind of communication. Kasi nga, ano yung paano mo ma-deliver yung gusto mo na idea or thoughts towards your coworkers, especially sa atin nagtuturo tayo, kung wala tayong proper communication with our students. So since we are the managers of our inside the classroom, so tayo as a manager, we have to communicate well with our learners. And we have decision making. Another vital management skill is decision making. Managers make numerous decisions, whether knowingly or not, and making decisions is a key component in a manager's success. Making proper and right decision result in the success of the organization, while poor or bad decision may lead to failure or poor performance. Okay. As a teacher, not all the time, but we have to have a good decision every time we have a decision. Pero nga, kaya na sinasabi ko, hindi sa lahat ng panahon tama yung nagiging decision natin. But if in case man, it would happen na if you are not sure with your decision, you have to ask with your kanong yung kasamahan mo para naman makatulungan ka. Kasi nga, as what I have said, not all teacher has a good making decision. Now for delegation, delegation is another key management skill. Delegation is the act of passing on work-related tasks and or authorities to other employees or subordinates. It involves the process of allowing your tasks or those of your employees to be reassigned or reallocated to other employees depending on current workloads. A manager with good delegation skills is able to effectively and efficiently reassign tasks and give authority to the right employees. When delegation is carried out effectively, it helps facilitate efficient task completion. Okay. For example, sa ating classroom, ating klase, okay, as a good have delegation skills, um, para bang ikaw yung, sa tingin mo yung batang ito, alam mo na meron siyang kakayahan. For example, may mga bata sa schools na slow learners, and then this child is, ano siya, fast learners. Para ma-help mo yung bata na yun, meron tayong tinatawag na mentoring. So para at least, kasi itong batang ito, may kakayahan siya na, kasi nga, ano siya, advanced learner siya. So, maka-help, pwede ko siyang i-assign doon sa bata na slow learner para matulungan niya. That's what we call mentoring. So, para naman sa mga, for example, sa school, doon sa admin naman, yung head, kung ikaw yung nagmamanage sa mga teachers, of course, if you have this kind of skills, alam mo yung itong teacher na to, nakita mo doon sa kanyang kakayahan na he can do this task, then pwede kang mag-rearrange. Baga, i-ano mo siya, i-reallocate kasi nga you think na mas effective siya dito. Okay, we have problem solving. Problem solving is another essential skill. A good manager must have the ability to tackle and solve the frequent problems that can arise in a typical workday. Problem solving in management involves identifying a certain problem or situation and then finding the best way to handle the problem and get the best solution. It is the ability to sort things out even when the prevailing conditions are not right. When it's clear that a manager has great problem-solving skills, it differentiates him or her from the rest of the team and gives subordinates confidence in her managerial skills. So, if you are a manager and you have this kind of problem-solving skills, kahit na ano man yung problema na dumaan, or ano man yung problema na, for example, sa classroom nyo, as a manager, if you have this kind of skills na problem-solving, kumbaga, madali mong harapin yung mga problema na kinakaharap mo. So it's very important to have this problem-solving skills as a manager kasi nga, in everyday life, in everyday na ginagawa din sa school, we have encountered different kinds of problem. So, kung tayo, as a manager, tapos pag meron tayong problema na na-encounter, mag-give up agad tayo or parang yung mga stress na ma-depress ka agad tayo kasi nga parang nalilito ka agad tayo kung ano dapat natin gawin. So dapat if you are a manager, you have to have this kind of skills. Actually, para sa akin talagang importante ito kasi nga sa araw-araw naman natin ginagawa natin sa pagtuturo sa ating mga mag-aaral, talagang especially meron pang mga parent dyan na maraming mga reklamo. So kung tayo as a teacher, agad tayo, pag may mga problema, mag-give up agad tayo or para bang wala ka nang tayo, kana ganing mahal tayo taba, kana ganing pag problema, mag-uudayon ta. We always, for me, I do believe na in every problem that we encounter in our daily life, especially in teaching, I always pray to God na He will guide me in every problem. Okay? And the last one, we have the motivating. The ability to motivate is another important skill in an organization. Motivation helps bring forth a desired behavior or response from the employees or a certain stakeholders. There are numerous motivation tactics that the managers can use, and choosing the right ones, it can depend on characteristics such as company and team culture, team personalities, and more. There are two primary types of motivation that a manager can use. This is an intrinsic and extrinsic motivation. Okay, as a manager, it is important to have, you know how to motivate your learners, or kung ikaw man yung principal or ikaw man yung head sa school nyo, you know how to motivate your co-teachers, or kung ako yung head, yung mga teachers mo. Kasi having a good motivation, di ba sa classroom natin when we teach, we usually have our motivation to encourage the learners para makinig sa atin, di ba? So as well as if you are also a head in a certain school, it is important for you to have this motivation skills kasi nga for example sa school namin. So we teachers motivate, minomotivate kami ng head namin. They gave us parang incentives. So if we have this pag merong task na pinapagawa sa amin yung head namin, and then we syempre because of the motivation na binibigay na parang because of the good motivation, parang we as teacher encourages to do much better. Kasi nga I've realized that having motivating skills would help a lot for the learner as well as for the teachers like me. And a good management skills are vital for any organization to succeed and achieve its goals and objectives. A manager who fosters good management skills is able to propel the company's mission and vision or business goals forward with fewer hurdles and objectors from internal and external sources. Management and leadership skills are often used interchangeably as they both involve planning, decision making, problem solving, communication, delegation, and time management. Good managers are always good leaders as well. Actually, Doc, I just nag-search po ako about sa vocational education curriculum. Pero I realized, actually I have a slide, pero na-discuss na kasi lahat ni Ma'am Maita kanina. That's why I only focus na lang dito sa managerial skills. Okay lang po ba, Doc?
Okay, may I see your work?
Ay, ano, Doc?
May I see your work?
Okay, Doc.
Sayang naman yung effort mo. Hindi mo
Okay. Nag-search po ako about what is a vocational education. So, vocational education is education that prepares people to work as technician or to take up employment in a skilled craft or trade as a trade person or artisan. Vocational education is sometimes referred to as a career and technical education. Vocational education can take place at the post-secondary, further education, or higher
Ano mo na
education.
lang, gawin mo na i-summarize mo per slide para mabilis. Kasi there are
Okay,
30
so-
dito. Pag na-discuss na niya, pwede mo lang i-skip.
Okay, yung ano na lang actually, vocational education curriculum, the vocational education curriculum is instructed based on the needs of the industrial world with the preferential technical skills compared to theoretical skills. This is manifested in the curriculum structure with the composition of a larger practical courses than the theoretical courses. So we have, pag sinabi nating vocational education, it is a work-ready training. The vocational type of education is designed to make student work-ready upon graduation. Kaya nga sabi ni Ma'am Maika kanina, there are some students na when they have this kind of course, hindi na sila magpuproceed the college kasi nga most probably because they have this training na and then pag nag-a-apply sila ng work, yung skills ang hinahanap, hindi yung kung college graduate ka. Kasi nga, kagaya sa call center, hindi naman kailangan college graduate ka doon. Hindi naman kailangan, pag meron ka lang na how to use the computer, the ICT, if you have that kind of skills, then pasok ka na. It provides practical education so students develop specific industry skills that allow them to jump right into your profession and get started. The key features of vocational education is training are classroom training combined with hands-on training, providing students with a complete understanding of concept in their field and how to carry out the duties of their trades. Okay, na-discuss na din yung about sa TESDA. The TESDA law is the creation of technical educational skills development or
Okay, no need na yan, Testa. Tapos na yan eh. Yun lang, whatever. So, ang TESDA, modular din siya and short courses. Okay, na-discuss na yan.
Opo, Doc.
What else would you want? Oh, na-discuss na yan.
Yes, Doc. Ito, Doc. Design. Parang yan na lang po, Doc. Tapos competencies, parang apart dun sa ano ni Mamay ka, nandoon na po, Doc. Yun lang po, Doc. Hindi ko na ilisa yun.
Okay. Siguro it's almost ko, no? Meron pa bang, before that, I would like to remind that there are many M's of management, no? There are many skills that a manager needs to develop or engage in. So, marunong siya mag-manage ng manpower, ng material, of course, he knows the people he's going to choose as a team, member of the team. He has knowledge on various approaches. He knows how to handle money and how to make use of the money properly. He is engaged in, sabihin natin, the use of time management. Meron siyang market mix. May idea siya ng milieu sa environment. May idea siya ng what specific tool will I use to evaluate the performance of my employees and the performance of the production. Also, part of the gusto ko magpakita. Part of the skill that a manager should develop is yung sinabi mo kanina na motivation. No? He may have all the skills pero wala na siyang motivation. He needs energy eh. Kasi yung energy niya should be contaminating and contagious sa kanyang members. You cannot push through yung mga members mo na magkilos ng dynamic kung ikaw nga niluyahon ka kaayo. Same thing with your supervisor, yung mga principal diya, mga master teacher, whoever is your coordinator. Kung mahina-hina din siya, ganahan ba din mo ng leader na hinayon? So actually, your leader will, sabihin natin, the success of the members would say dependent on the leader and vice versa. Hindi ka pwede maging leader kung wala ka subordinates. Ang hirap naman ng subordinates, puro kayo subordinates, walang leader. So it's really inseparable. So ang success talaga ng isang group depends on both sides. And the question is, another skill na na-overlook is, what is your ministry? What is your purpose? What is your intention? Yung ganun. Importante yun. You may have all. Kaya nga maraming pumapalpak dito. You have all the finances, you have all the people around you. Pero you have your personal vested interest eh. So anong interest mo? To get rich, richer, or you would like to help the entire nation or your entire school. Ganon yan. So ano? Kasi kung sarili mo lang, you would not mind about your learners. You would not mind impressing people around you. Basta ako, katrabaho ko, basta may sweldo ako, ganon. That's very, sabihin nating self-directed na yan. Pero kung tatanungin mo, why am I here? Yung tanong na ganon, what is my purpose? Bakit nandito ko? Kasi meron ko estudyante kanina doon sa 118. Sabi niya, ako ma'am, maganda yung bahay ko ma'am, pero magdating ko doon sa ang barangay ma'am, ang aming, kasi umuwi siya every weekend lang. Yung kanilang harap lang barangay siya eh, doon sa Pakibato daw. Yung bahay daw nila ng mga teachers ko lang. Ang cover lang daw, yung palapa ng nyog, yung ng nyog. Tapos ang kanilang bubong, ano lang daw, ano yun? Yung,
Makan,
hindi, yung ng nyog, yung palapa. Oo, yun ang nagano sa pag umuulan, ano ginawa? Ilalagyan lang namin ng karton, ma'am. Monday to Friday, ganun ang buhay ko. Pagdating mo ng bahay, na-stress talaga, matulog na lang talaga ako. You can just imagine that, yung mga ganun ba? But the thing is, you can ask yourself, ano ba talaga ang ministry ko? Anong purpose ko? Bakit ako nag-teacher ko ganito? If I cannot endure. So, ganun. For those who can endure, ibig sabihin, alam niya ang ministry niya. But those who cannot endure and look for another job, change your job, change your environment, iba yung iyong ministry. Bakit yung ministry mo? Comfort. If our ministry is comfort, then sabi nung I remember nung ako nag-apply noon ako sa DepEd noon matagal na yung dalaga pa ako. Sabi niya, willing ka ba miss na ma-assign sa malalayo? Isip-isip ko. Ano kaya sagot ko? Yes ba or no? Ang sagot ko naman, because I needed a job. Yes. Isip ko ba yes ako, baka mamaya ilagay ako doon sa malayo. Isip ko, buti na lang hindi ako ilagay sa malayo. Pero actually malayo din para sa akin yun. Sa Mandog, doon pa naman ako ilagay sa Mandog. And only to find out after I resigned sa Mandog, yung palang Mandog, para siyang balon. Yung area ba, yung National Comprehensive High School, para siyang well na doon sa malalim na yun, na andun ang school. So kung meron doon mga walay sapatos doon sa taas, kitang-kita ka. Mabuti na lang pag alis ko sa kapala may magpatayan doon. At least wala na ako doon magpatayan sila kasi nirate sila. Sometimes yung ating ministry, we have to check also, we have to evaluate also yung safety din natin. It's not only what we're thinking to get a job. I need a job. My job is needed because of my family. But what about my safety? Ganun. So there are many considerations and there are many skills that a manager should consider. Kung ikaw manager ng aling vocational education, ano ba talaga ministry mo? Is it really to develop the skills of the students? Sometimes, to be honest, no? Alam ko, kung halimbawa ako manager, alam ko na in demand ang skills development. I will make more money about this. Diba? Oh. So, again, it's a matter of asking myself, what are the skills that I need to become a manager? What are the skills that you need to be effective manager? Not the theoretical school. Kasi basta theoretical school, iba na yan. You're building philosophers. Pero kung technical schools or vocation, you are building what? Workers. So, where do you want to be? Builder of philosophers or builder of workers? Kayo na bahala niyan, kaya kayo man na magiging builder. Di ba na to? Again, the question is posed for all of us para develop insights. Okay. We don't have any more time for the next reporter, but before we wind up, I would like to ask everyone to give his or her insight on the reports today that will serve as your recitation and will serve as your quiz. Let's start with Giselle.
Yes po, Doc. Good
Excited.
afternoon, everyone. So, from the report of Ma'am Maita and Ma'am Carqueta. I'm sorry po. So, from the report of the three reporters, Ma'am Villas, Ma'am Maita, and Ma'am Carqueva, I have understood a lot, especially on the textbook area, which is or which are what captured me the most was the maritime in TESDA. It's very new to me na marinig na meron palang ganon na when you have the NC2 for the maritime, pwede ka na agad sumakay ng barko or apply for a land job. Because I thought the most basic courses that is established for the test the housekeeping, cookery, uh, culinary, bartending. So, yun yung mga alam ko. The animation, narinig ko na siya before. But the one thing new is the maritime. So, yun. Uh, Thank you for the reporters. Thank you for installing a lot of knowledge, new knowledges, especially for the trends in this area for the educational area of today.
Mag-maritime ka na lang.
Hindi pa man ako naisip po.
O sabi kasi ni Maita kanina, add more skills even if you have already degrees. Add more skills. I even asked ko si Maita kanina kasi gusto ko yung LSI, di ba?
Mm-mm.
Another NC1, NC2 yun, LSI. Kasi research yun eh. Pero wala akong nakita doon sa mga. Sabi ni Maita baka hindi top 10. Yeah, mahirap din naman yung LSI din.
Hindi po siya top 10.
At, wala sa top 10, sabi mo.
Wala po.
Pero kasi alam mo, skill din yun eh. I mean, okay, foreign language, at saka yung research. Na part yung kasing research ng Agenda 20 noon. Iwan ngayon sa Agenda 30 na yung sabi mo eh. So it's not included. I mean, included siguro siya pero hindi top 10. Mga in demand. Anyway, okay, sino pa? Before we wind up. Si Rudy.
Hello, Doc. Am I audible? Nadinig ba ako?
Yes, yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. As we studied no, sa different curriculums in our country, parang nandoon na lahat pero ang kulang lang sa atin, meron tayong mga major and basic education and yet parang kulang pa rin sa mga tao. Wala pa rin there are still a lot of people na kahit na educated and yet still kulang ang trabaho, meaning jobless pa rin. That's why yung iba nag-take ng mga NC2, nag-shift na lang ng ibang courses. For example, kasi magpunta ng abroad. For example, sa TESDA, merong butchering. So, ganyan. Para bang pagpunta mo doon sa ibang bansa, parang mga white collar job lang ang marami doon. Whereas dito sa atin, pag ikaw kahit na baccalaureate degree graduate ka, wala pa rin. So meaning to say, we must be flexible and we must be balanced na lang tayo sa lahat. And ang sa akin ito, learning this topic, naasa tao talaga yung desire in how to improve your education. Na depende talaga sa'yo because our government offered a lot of curriculum for us to be educated. Pero meron talaga sa Filipino na parang tamad, no? Huwan tamad talaga. So nandiyan na yan siya, huwan tamad kaya kaya pa rin marami talagang tao na na nagrereklamo tapos sa government parang iasa lang lahat sa government and yet hindi naman tinutulungan yung sarili nila. So for me, it's up to us on how to improve our life. So it depends on us talaga. Thank you, Dom.
Mera, sa ano?
Ay, kawahan. Good afternoon, Doc.
Site mo lang yan, huwag ka makulbaan.
Wala Char lang. Wait Doc. TESDA is a big opportunity para sa ato atanan. sa lalo pa sa mga bisag wala na ka wala na ka bisag wala na yung nakatapos og kaning atong mga baccalaureate courses daw. Ang TESDA opportunity para makakuha tag NC2. But in our doc sa same sa sorting ni Ma'am Bilias ganyan bago lang na bisag daghan tag mga courses in under TESDA na gina-offer. Nakadepende gyapon siya kung ang government man nato nagahatag bag trabaho inana nga course. Like in us sa amo daghang mga courses dito dok nga makakuha kag NC2 get like mga agriculture. Pero gamay kaayo ako karon dok nga akong sister is graduate of agriculture pero wala na gina-offer dito nga under sa agriculture na mga work. So, yes, Doc. Akong teacher, ay, akong ang mga gina-offer lang mga courses sa amo is kanang education number 1, number 2 kanang home economic up to karong HT anang gani karon gina-offer gyapon. Unta sa amo kaya kami Doc is kaabot og Davao City or Cotabato City para mag-eskwela. Kaya kung dito sa amo Doc, even sa education, dito naa gyapon tong sa itong entrance exam gani Doc nga sila gyapon magbuot kung unsay course ang i-offer sa imuha.
Oh.
So karon wala yung mga bisag criminology dito, wala. So
Where
kailangan
is the
mo
place?
wala gyapon pa nga
Asa
magbiyahe
ang
gyapon.
lugar?
Upi Maguindanao Doc.
Asa Tupi.
Upi sa Upi Doc, lahi tong Tupi. Oo.
Tupi.
Ang Tupi dire sa Cotabato City ran area dire sa sa Marvel. Pero sa amo Upi Maguindanao, bukid gid siya. So ako nagawish gid ko dito nga naay mga schools may mga hatag nga mga pud ba nga mga courses pud nga gusto pud sa uban sa mula ka Cotabato City mag-rent ka dito luoy kayo mga tao kay ang ilang panginabuhi lang yun sa amo is farm lang man yun.
You recruit those who are interested, those who have the same interest, and make a proposal sa inyong LGU.
Bitaw no.
Sa LGU nyo, mag-work yan siya.
Mm.
Kasi kung sa sarili mo lang, talagang wala. Let the LGU work.
Mm. So mora to daghan pud ko matun-an tungod ani so compare gid nimo kung unsa ang offer diri sa ato sa Davao City na daghan kayo matun-an technology na ali dito ato karon among kuryente tag 2 weeks wala mobalik tag 2 hours lang mawala na pud sa kuryente na mo wala so mao na doy kayo.
Okay, thank you. Ethel.
Hi, Doc. Good afternoon po. Good afternoon, classmates. So, base sa mga reporters, so daghan po na-learn. So, as a teacher, dapat jud ihatag nato atong best para mag-reflect po sa atong estudyante. For example, ang giingon ni Mamay taganiha nga, dili lang nato i-follow kung unsa to gihatag sa ato. So, we need to exert more effort para sa atong estudyante. Kung unsa atong gusto para sa ilahan na kanang buhat po dili lang katong sama sa gingon ni Ma'am nga, dili lang imagination tanan doable po siya. And then, sa other side po is, currently, sama ko sa gingon ni Ma'am kaganiha, daghang nakagraduate pero walay trabaho because kanang ang uban ng puti na force sila sa ilang parents nga o ni pa kay kini mo yung gwapo ni siya na dali na ka makasunod ani pero dili ni mo gusto ang kaduna. For example, ganyan ni mama mag-education ka, gusto na mo maging teacher ka, sunod ka sa amo pero kanang dili hapon siya mahimong teacher after na mag-graduate siya kay dili niya gusto ang iyang gikuha. At the same time, dili siya mag-enjoy. So, ang instituto po nakatabang po ang dako po nakatabang ang test dakay para paagi ato murag ma-proceed niya ang iyang gusto nga which is may-enjoy siya sa iyang gusto buhaton nga makatabang po sa laing tao.
Deborah?
Good afternoon, Doc. I'm under ALS, Doc. So basically, TESDA is the department na mostly ginatap na mo with our learners. So with what Ma'am Maita shared, it was actually really good. It's a great program. Ang problema lang, I'm not sure, I think it was mentioned. Kana bang kung unsa ang in demand, mao ang kwaon. Now if the time comes na dili na siya in demand, mawala na pod siya. So sa kadaghan sa skill courses na gina-offer, sometimes learners will just enroll, it's because in demand. It's not because mo to ang ilang ginakahiligan. So ang mahitabo in the future sa ilahang work, quality will kanang ma-disregard ra siya. So as a teacher in this field or in this department, we are just hoping na kanang ma-filter siya para we can always consider the quality of the output. So hopefully, mas maano siya ba, mas mapa-improve niya. Daghan man og support, daghan og stakeholders na willing mag-extend sa support. So maybe kinahanglan lang siya og improvement on how to make sure that the quality should always be considered. All lang to siya, Doc. Thank you.
Rex. Rex.
Hi, Doc. Good afternoon. Mas maganda siguro, maganda Doc, importante bigyan pansin yung vocational courses kasi mas trend ngayon ang technical vocational na in demand ngayon. Kasi nung una, kaya maraming mga nakatapos na pag-aaral na walang trabaho kasi skills mismatch kasi. Yung vocational, lifelong learning kasi Doc. Kaya mas, para sa akin, mas maganda talaga yung vocational courses.
Lifelong learning. O sige, si ano na lang, itong mga reporters. Blaze.
Hello, Doc. For me, Doc, para sa akin, mas yung tech both skills kasi mas trending siya ngayon. Para bang marami ngang mga, gaya ng sinabi ng mga iba, na maraming nakapagtapos pero walang mga trabaho. Jobless pa rin sila. Kasi nga, yung mga natapos nila, when they apply to a certain institutions, yung mga qualifications, wala sila. Kasi nga, ngayon nga, pag mag-apply ka sa public school, you have to have this tech both skills. Dapat meron kang NC2, kasi isa yun yung mga qualification. So, that's why nga para sa akin, mas better na talagang bigyan importansya, i-enhance pa yung TechBo education para mas marami nga, mas marami pang, kasi nga itong TechBo is work ready na siya for employment. So, at least, di ba, ngayon nga, pag nakatapos ka na ng K-12, ng senior high school, you can proceed, pwede ka nang mag-find a job.
Maida.
I agree, Doc, na TechVoc is the way to go ngayon. That's where EU is pushing din. So, if we don't innovate, then we will get stranded. Yun ang push ngayon ng UNESCO and Univoc to push innovation, which is towards the ICT, and the ICT field is nasa TechVoc na ngayon.
Okay, the purpose of our subject actually is to open your mind and your heart. Baka naman pagkatapos ito, yung laman ng curriculum niyo, puro
Pag-techbook na kaming lahat, Doc. Hindi naman po. I mean, to design a techbook is actually quite tricky because everything is very skills based. But at the same time, if you are designing techbook for JHS and SHS, then you have to make sure that in your curriculum that they have options na if they stop here, they are ready to work. But if they proceed to tertiary education, they are well prepared for tertiary education.
Anyway, ang purpose naman kasi na subject natin is for you to be able to know how to design a curriculum. Whatever direction you would like to come into. Basta importante is you know how to design a curriculum. And after everybody has already reported in all levels, kasi marami pang levels dyan eh, I hope we can. We will try to look into, and then I will give you the freedom to choose what specific curriculum would you design. Basta you know how to design the curriculum and you'd like to present that as your final exam.
Will we
Anyway, it's
choose,
really
Doc, or will you
yes,
assign us? Are we gonna choose or are you going to assign us?
I will decide.
Okay.
Kasi I have to listen to all the reports dun sa part 2. Hindi pa kasi vocational pa lang ang nag-report saka yung primary, yung college, saka yung marami pa kasi dun level. Eh. So I hope I expected kasi na merong 4 reporters or 5 reporters eh. Pero na-question ni Marita ang time. Anyway, very informative. So, I was asking the graduate school kung may klase ba next week. Wala pa akong na-receive na report eh.
Ma'am, Doc, excuse me, according to Dr. Kabintoy during our class this morning, Saturdays will be holidays.
O kasi ang sagot sa akin dito ng graduate school is paabot pa mi sa memo.
April 9 and 16. Nag-declare na po si Ma'am Kabintoy, walang klase.
In other words, wala pa kasing memo daw. Hindi siya nag-memo. So mag-wait lang ako. In other words, if we don't have classes, then we meet on the 23rd.
Yehey, long vacation.
Oo nga. Ang kaso, andun pa kayo sa dalawang reports, dapat tapos na tayo. I expected na pag April tapos na tayo sa part 2 eh. Tapos May part 3. Tapos June part 4. So I would like to finish that within June. Eh, meron pa kasi kayong requirements. You have to come up with curriculum for specific pursuit ba. Anyway, sige lang, if I receive a note na wala, then we meet on the 23rd. Happy weekend and happy holidays.
Bye, Doc.
Bye po.
Thanks, Doc. Doc, can you assign us na early para
Hi, Doc.
itong extra
Yes.
2 weeks we can start doing stuff so hindi kami mapondohan ng gagawin pagka finals.
Titilang ko kasi paano ako magbibigay sa inyo ng curriculum? Hindi pa natapos kasi yung level eh. Hindi kayo magkakaroon ng idea ng titilang ko lang, I will look into. Binibigay ko usually yan after part 3 eh. Pero kay part 2, hindi pa tayo nakakaalis eh. I will just check.